Welcome to Flipping Miami, a podcast for those who want to learn real estate investing, do more, and make more. Now, here is your host, Raul Bolufe.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Flipping Miami podcast. And today, this is going to be a good one. I look at that beard. If you guys are watching, if you're not watching this, then just imagine a kind of gingerish beard on the other side. But I got Seth Choate. He's a good friend of mine. We've met in masterminds. The guy's killing it. We're just having a conversation of he's up to over 20 rentals now, and he's a young dude just crushing it, traveling, living an awesome life. So that's a pretty tough intro to beat now. But thanks, Seth, for being on here.
Jeez, man, I'm over here just kind of plugging away, and then you talk me up like I'm crushing it. So hopefully this goes well. Thank you for having me on, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I saw you on the Instagram, bro. You got ripped. What happened to you over there?
So, dude, I got the fat dad bod there for a minute after the kid. I was just got out of shape, and I looked in the mirror one day and I said, enough. Because I used to be pretty jacked.
Okay.
And I just said enough. So my wife and I went on a crazy diet leading up to our Costa Rica trip. And it was pretty insane. Like, she pre-prepped every meal, everything. And I was hitting the gym and running 6-7 days a week. And then just got it dialed back in right there before Costa Rica.
Yeah, bro, I saw some pictures. I'm like, yo, I think I sent you a message. I'm like, yo, Seth, like, what kind of steroids you on? I want some of those things, bro. Insane.
That picture got so many comments. People are like, what were you doing? I was like, So I go as my wife goes. If she cooks good, I eat good. If she cooks bad, I'm done.
Well, that's a great support thing. Yeah, I mean, I just started like kind of dieting hard and watching everything I eat, and it's a lifestyle thing. I feel like people don't realize that.
Complete lifestyle, and what motivates me to do it is like, it gives me energy in business. And if I eat pizza, I'm done. But like, if I'm on my salads, smoothies, quality food, I've got energy till 6, 7, 8 at night.
Yeah, love that. But dude, yeah, so I appreciate you coming on. And we'll talk about like what you do in real estate now. You do wholesale in California. But dude, tell me what was Seth like? Who was Seth at like 15, 16 years old in high school? Like, if we would have met in high school, like, would you have been a shy kid? Were you playing sports? Like, who was Seth?
Seth was a very outgoing jock. Sports.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah. I was football, wrestling were my focus, and sports were my life up until probably 22 years old.
Damn.
Played college football at a junior college and then a Division II school. And that was my everything. Everything revolved around competing. And so that actually is kind of the reason I got into real estate. I know we're going to go there.
Yeah.
But I had a massive void once I left all that because the competition was gone. I was like, I was dying for something to compete in. And the real estate world is what I compete in now, and it's filled that void, and it's fun.
I love that. So you took all that like competitive energy. You said you used to do wrestling and football in high school. You were pretty outgoing. And so leaving high school, did you have a plan of like what you wanted to do for the rest of your life?
Dude, I wanted to be a teacher and coach football.
What? Oh, you wanted to be in high school?
Yeah. So I didn't even want to teach, but that was the only means to be a football coach.
Ah, interesting.
So everything was at that time was evolved around that. And so when I went to school, quite honestly, what's the easiest degree I can get? I thought it was history.
That sounds really dumb.
Oh, it's terrible, dude. I have a history degree that I don't use at all.
No.
It's one of the most worthless things I have.
What is one of the most interesting history facts that you can remember?
Oh, see, I don't even remember them.
Oh man, damn.
It's I don't know, something. It would probably be in regards to Rome. Oh, I don't know if I can say it on your podcast.
Yeah.
Is it
politically incorrect?
No, but it might not be G rated. So
Yeah, no, go for it, man. I throw bad
guess
words
back
on
in
you.
the day, the Greeks were big time on being homosexual with each other. They felt like it created a bond between the warriors. I thought that was really out there.
Interesting. And you think of like Greek like warriors, you think of like these Sparta, or I don't even know if those are Greek, but you think of like those like
Dudes, you know? But apparently it was common for them to get in.
Not to say buff dudes can't be badass and sexual, but I'm just kidding. That's interesting, dude. So you graduated high school. You're probably like a competitive football player. Did you not try to make it to college on football or wrestling, or what happened there?
So I played college football.
Oh, okay.
And I played at a junior college, and then I ended up receiving a scholarship to go to a Division II school out in Michigan.
Okay.
Quickly, the aspirations of going further ended when I realized I was short and slow.
Right. Yeah.
I was capped out, but I had a blast. But after that was done, I had one semester left. I moved back home because it's awful in Michigan. Like the weather's just so cold. You being from Miami, me being from California, I don't do well in the snow, man.
No.
And so as soon as football was done, I moved home, took a semester locally, and graduated with a history degree.
Nice.
From there, I was working a dead-end job selling Yellow Page ads. You know the old phone book?
Wow.
Dude, it was tough. It was an awful job. But if you can sell an ad in a phone book to a business, you can sell anything.
I imagine that.
Problem was, I was sitting there making decent money doing that. And then I was going through my student teaching. I was going to have to quit my job to finish my student teaching in the classroom. And I was going to take a pay cut to go be a teacher. And it didn't align with me anymore. It was just like, there's something wrong here. I don't want to make $45,000 a year.
Yeah.
And cap out at 70. Like that's just not my life. So I just, at that point, made a radical change, and that's when I dove into real estate 5.5 years ago.
Nice, bro. So okay, damn, that's interesting. I didn't know that about you. So I knew that you played football and some sports, and you want to be a teacher. The reason I ask these questions about high school is because, everyone starts there, right? Or typically most people go to high school. It's okay if you didn't, but GED, whatever. But what I'm getting at is like the journey to become, now you're a real estate investor, you got a ton of properties and stuff. We'll talk about that in a second. But the journey from you in high school, being an athlete, did you have good grades in high school, by the way?
Yeah. School came extremely easy to me, though. I did not have to try hard. I probably carried a 3.5 GPA. I was a math whiz, like calculus, AP calculus, trigonometry. School, I didn't try in school, but I did just fine.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was very similar. It's funny, in high school I was really good, 3.5, 3.8. And then I got to college and I was like a 2.0. I was horrible in college. I just knew that it wasn't for me, and I wouldn't put any energy. But anyways, what I'm getting at is that from high school to now being a real estate investor, owner of a company, etc., each journey is different. And you started as kind of like, you're always like outgoing athlete, and you had aspirations to be something different, and then something happened and you became who you are now. And you're still on a journey to get better all the time, of course. But selfishly, I like to know these stories as well, because it almost like puts me at ease. Like, yo, my story, Seth's story, Bill Gates' story, Warren Buffett's story, it's all different, and it's all like relative. Okay, like there's no one size fits all on being a badass or being a successful person. What's your take on people who say, man, like I was never outgoing in high school. Like, how can I ever be successful?
I think that a lot of people live behind an excuse.
Yep.
Like that. And I don't know if it's a level of fear. They're scared of making a decision. We're all really scared when we make a move into like the entrepreneurial world. And I don't have anybody in my family that was ever an entrepreneur. Everybody worked a W-2 job. I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. But there was something out there that was a higher calling.
Interesting.
Like I knew sitting there teaching, making nothing wrong with making 60, 70 grand a year, but it wasn't going to be fulfilling. And I would just show up to work every day at 7:45, leave at 3:30, 7:45. That just to me is death. And I need exhilaration. And so, and like, what's the worst? The one thing I looked at with it was I already had this degree. I think a lot of people need to they think things are going to be way worse than it's going to be so bad. So if I go and I try to do real estate and I fall flat on my face, who gives a shit? I can go back and be a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the end of the world. Do I have food? Do I have something over my head for shelter? Do I have clothes? Yes. It's not that. And a lot of people get trapped in being so scared of losing that job that they hate. You could probably always go back and get that job you hate. I don't know. That's why I did it.
That's good. And do you feel like, I'm passionate about like living awesome lives. Do you feel that you have to be an owner or an entrepreneur to live an awesome, badass life?
No, I don't think that. However, I think you have to be in the right place and around the right people that allow you some flexibility, and you have that encouragement to go and do other things. I know there's people on my team who are not owners who live badass lives.
That's awesome.
And I don't think it all comes down to owning a business, but there are other facets. You can crush it in fitness. You can crush it in traveling and other things. But I do think you need some flexibility in a job. You can't be working 60 hours a week, 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. I don't think that's a badass life if you clock in, clock out. I just don't see it.
I don't see it, yeah. I think I read something the other day that, I mean, these statistics could be a little messed up, but overall, I think it's in 2019, they like did a study, 7 out of 10 millionaires are not business owners.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Neither would I. And it was either in a podcast or Reddit somewhere. I would actually challenge someone to look it up, make sure I'm right, but it's something along those lines. Basically, more than 5, which is really interesting, right?
I would never have guessed. I would have probably flipped it around and been 7 and 10 are business owners.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
Back to just financial, just saving your money. You don't have to make a boatload of money to become a millionaire.
No. So, dude, so you're in this stage, you know, you're back and forth. Like, do I be a teacher? Do I take that pay cut, or do I do this other thing? What like happened that you shifted? You're like, all right, I'm gonna go after this real estate thing. I'm gonna go and like create, you know, something for myself. Was it a moment? Was it a series of events? Was it like, did someone punch you in the face? Like, what happened here? You know?
So to back up a little bit, I'll give you a little bit of background on why real estate was chosen. I was in high school during the crash. Prior to that, I was like 03, 04 freshman, 04, 05 sophomore. Absolutely insane, right? I was sitting there going, I'm never going to be able to buy a house. Look at these prices. How can I ever buy a home? And then as I graduate high school, I watched just the biggest crash we've ever seen. And it fascinated me. And I didn't know anything about real estate, didn't understand it, but I kept telling my dad, you need to buy these houses, go buy these houses. He never did. He does just fine. But like, there was something there, right? And then fast forward to when I'm working at the Yellow Pages, I hate this job. Like, it is awful. I'm getting MF'd every day that I walk in a door trying to sell a Yellow Page ad because it doesn't work. And I don't blame the people for telling me to leave. But I was at home with my roommate complaining about how much I hate this job. And he goes, dude, why don't you just go do real estate. You've talked about it so much. You go, exactly what he said was quit being a pussy. Try it.
I love that.
That night, I signed up for my course. And then when it came in, I just kept plugging away at the tests. And as soon as I got my license, I kind of balanced that other job on the side, making money until, well, it was cool because that job had some flexibility and it allowed me to run out and go do some deals. And I strung that along as long as I could before they finally realized I was not working there. And because they gave like a stipend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And finally they were about to fire me. So I just quit. Full time into the real estate thing. And that was it. Just a friend calling me out.
Your friend?
Went for it.
You still friends with this guy?
He's one of my best friends in the world.
Nice. Yeah.
He was the best man at my wedding. So yeah.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. So you see, I mean, like if you're listening and you're waiting for a sign, okay, you can do two things. You could either keep waiting for this sign, or you can make your own sign based on whatever you want, right? You were at that point, right? You hated the yellow pages. You didn't want to be a teacher anymore. You knew that something's missing, right? This is not what Seth's meant to do. Seth's not meant to sit here and get, bitched at for yellow page ads. So you already knew there was something else. And then the sign of, the trigger was your friend. If people are not looking for that, if you are listening to this and you're not looking for something to get you going, you're never going to find it.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And if you are hating what you're doing every day, you don't want to go somewhere, make that leap. That's the sign.
Yeah.
Right? If you literally hate going to your job, that is the sign. And make a move. You'll be just fine. If you completely fail, it's not a bad thing. Failure is not a bad thing, and you'll be just fine.
Failure is great. And I truly believe that we're put on this earth, whatever you believe in, but if you're alive, you're a miracle. And not only that is we're here to live our maximum best capacity type of life. Like, why should we expect anything else? Like, why should we want anything else from ourselves? Yeah. Is there stuff that you do on a daily basis that you don't like to do? Sure. But overall, what's your fulfillment level compared to the yellow pages job?
Dude, it's night and day. And to that thing about maximum fulfillment, like when I catch myself at times just cruising in business and we've reached a level of success, I get bored. I need to be tensed up, like nervous, like I did something crazy.
I love that shit.
That is the most alive. Like when you're like, all right, I'm going to drop a tremendous amount of money on this strategy and we're going to try this out and it may not work. Oh man, I never feel more alive than that. And we got like a stress, but it's a good stress.
Yeah.
Dude, love it.
It's like when the stress is like, yeah. Some people don't like that, and that's okay. But if you can align yourself with someone like Seth that it has that like risk tolerance, and you just help people like him, because you have a really good partner or COO that's a good friend of yours, and he probably helps you with these crazy ideas, just like I have Lewis, and they live awesome lives. They're awesome people. They're technically almost like business owners because they do almost everything in the business, but they just have different risk profiles, and that's okay. The reason I'm saying all this is like, dude, there's really no excuse to be where you're at if you don't want to be there.
100%. Dude, Blaze, the guy you're talking about, was making 95 to 100 grand a year as a nurse. Killer job.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Up and quit being a nurse to do this. Best decision he's ever made. Like, he loves it. And he's buying rentals. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. And if anybody has a reason not to leave, it's a dude making 100 grand a year as a nurse.
Yeah.
It wasn't his passion. High
security job. He went to school for it. Oh, but I got my degree for it. Dude, who cares? If you're not happy there, okay, take that as a learning lesson. You learned a bunch of science. You got your experience, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, he can always go back and do that. That would be so easy. They're always going to need him if it doesn't work out. But it's working out, I mean, wonderfully.
Damn. Dude, so you've been through, how long have you been in the business?
I started as a realtor 5.5 years ago.
Damn, so you've moved pretty quick.
Yeah, I started in the investment space probably 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's the biggest lesson that's taken you the longest to learn when it comes to business?
The biggest lesson that's taken me the longest to learn.
Like something that you're like, oh, damn it. Like I knew that, or I should have done that before. Like that kind of feeling.
One that, I'm just recently learning it, and I've heard it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Probably burned a lot of money and time by not doing it. Is it actually tracking my business? Tracking it. We for up until literally like a couple months ago, we're just throwing everything against the wall, and just because we were hustling, everything's been going great. But we've been hitting a wall, and it's because we didn't know what to change and where to add more money because we didn't track anything.
Yeah. Oh, that is so, I mean, and we have the same coach, and he's a huge, he tracks like, I'm sure he tracks like he tracks everything for sure. He tracks like the amount of time he takes walking from here to the bathroom, right? Bet.
Oh, he's a tracking guru. He knows how long his shower is every day.
Yeah. So, but anyways, dude, oh my God, so key. Like, what has that done for your business now that you started tracking that stuff?
Well, like, for example, one thing that we did is when we buy houses, I was just shotgun effect buying, marketing every single non-owner occupied home with an old owner. But I didn't realize in the years doing it, I've never bought a home that is bigger than 1,800 square feet ever. So why am I marketing to those homes? So suddenly we took out 33% of our marketing budget and we still generate the same volume.
That's awesome.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, when you dug into the data.
Yeah. And it just seems so easy now, and it is easy if you actually do it, but I was stubborn and didn't sit down. I just kept running.
Like, well, it's not worth it. Let's just send it. It's only 36 cents a piece and whatever.
Yeah. 36 cents a piece times 20,000 adds up, you know?
Yeah, I know, exactly. But like in the entrepreneur mind, you're like, it doesn't matter. I'm still doing deals. But that's awesome.
That was helpful. And the other one too is that I wish I would have learned in the beginning is cutting out, keeping your expenses really low and cutting out costs I had a lot of subscriptions that are just running and I'm not using them because I put them on auto pay. And next thing I know, I'm like, why have I been paying for this for 2 years for $40 a month? Like, it's terrible, but I did it. And I did that on a lot of stuff. And so just really tracking your numbers helps.
Yeah. I did that. We did that exercise in our business, and I think we dropped like $1,200 a month just on stupid shit.
Yes. Dude, I lost my wallet. I really lost my wallet. So I had to cancel every credit card, and then I had to go renew everything. And I looked at stuff and I was like, I'm not renewing this. I haven't used it in 6 months.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of money by it. So everybody asked me, I'm like, just lose your wallet. Just go throw it away.
I'm going to throw away my wallet now. So tell us a little bit about your business. What's it like right now? You're doing wholesale. I know you told me you're doing some rentals. So what's that look like?
We have a couple different legs we're working on. I have a real estate team that's like your residential brokerage team.
Yep.
I help people buy and sell properties. 5 agents on that team. We have a wholesaling operation where we, if for people who don't know what wholesaling is, if they don't know, it's you buy a home or you lock up a home under contract for X amount of dollars, you sell it to another investor for a higher price and you make the spread in the middle. That's our primary focus. That is what we like, and everything else stems off that. We probably wholesale 3 to 4 homes a month. And then I have a flipping leg of the business that we do, and we probably flip about 40 homes a year. And so we have all three of those things that I think go hand in hand. And the reason I like having all three aspects of the business is because it doesn't always fit. You can't always sell every property on the market. You can't always wholesale every property. You can't flip every property because I don't have that kind of income for every single property to flip. I like having those three, and we just pick the best avenue for each property.
I love that. What market? What's the city of your market? What market are you in?
We are in the Central Valley in California. It's an hour south of Sacramento. Our big city is called Modesto.
Modesto, got it. Okay.
My biggest passion, though, is rentals. That's really my focus. That's the only reason I'm in this game.
That's the sexy. People are like, that's the sexiest thing about this stuff, bro.
Dude, I mean, when you sit there and you literally don't do anything and money just comes into your account, it's not sexy at all. It's the boring thing to talk about, but nobody wants to talk about making $600 a month. But when you make $600 a month times 50, then it's fun.
Yeah.
And you do anything you want.
And you got equity, and you get them paid off after 10 years. And so then you can pull lines. You can do so many things, man. It's
so many strategies you can use with rentals. That's ridiculous. In the beginning's painful, but as soon as you get them and you get that thing rolling, it's just like, whoa, this is cool.
I know. Yeah, I had 10 single family homes. How many do you have now? 20 something, right?
21.
21. That's amazing. That's amazing. And what is like the average rent per door?
So our average rent per door is about $1,200, $1,100 to $1,200 a month.
11 to 1,200, and then you net around what, 50% of that?
So no, because I have a 5-unit complex that's vacant, so it's not generating me any money. We're rehabbing it. It's a major rehab, but that will be a phenomenal property once it's done. I'm probably right now, I'm bringing in about $15,000 a month in rents, and after all expenses, netting about $7,000.
That's awesome. So, dude, I mean, and you're 32?
30. I did that in 3 years. And so $84,000 a year in cash flow, and it's been in 3 years.
Dude, that's so inspiring, man. And even me, I've been doing this shit forever. And I ran really fast for the rentals in the beginning. I sold a few now because the market was so hot. And I was kind of leveraged on them, to be honest. I kept the ones that I haven't paid off, or I owe very little money on these 5 that I have.
That's right.
So probably like in the next 3 years, I'll have them all paid off, which is fine. But man, I love that. And like, what would you say to people who are like, oh, but I could just flip houses forever?
That it won't always be there. It will not always be there. And eventually you're going to get tired of it. I'm not going to run like this forever. Now, I won't get out of business because I'm passionate about business, and I'll probably do other things. But to have that safety net and that cushion, if I want to take 6 months and travel the world, well, if I'm making $25,000 a month in passive income, I can do that.
Do whatever you want.
Wherever I want to go, and I could email my property manager and say, fix this. And it's just really easy. So flipping's exhausting. And it's fun, but it's exhausting. No one wants to do that forever.